What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of HansenAthletics. Coach D here. Wanted to talk about a specific topic today, and that is going to be athlete confidence, developing confidence, and nurturing it as a coach, and just give you some insight into what I believe has been successful for us at HansenAthletics and why we've had growth and continued growth, and the success with the athletes that we have. We receive often texts about updates of performances on the weekends. And one thing that has stayed consistent over the last 5 years is parents are really mentioning confidence, like athletes' confidence on the court, general confidence in themselves. And that's usually one of the first adaptations that is noticed when an athlete starts coming to us consistently. And I wanted to kind of talk through, like I said, a couple points with that and why I think we've had success with that. So number one is going to be the culture of the facility. So when athletes come in, we give them a lot of space to be who they are. With all the quirks and oddities involved. There is an underlying, of course, feeling or presence of required hard work. It's one thing that we haven't had a problem with, and a lot of that is to credit the athletes that we currently have, and the type of athlete we're attracting. Is it seems that most of the athletes, pretty much all the athletes, want to work hard when they come to us. It also could potentially be partly because they only get to come to us usually 2 to 3 times a week. So they are spending a lot of time doing other stuff. And then when they come to us, it's somewhat of a special event or a thing they look forward to weekly. And I wanted to go back a little bit and talk a little bit more about allowing them to be themselves. So we're not forcing them to act a certain way or try to fit in with the other athletes. It's kind of giving them the space as a coach to express themselves and not nipping it or, saying that was weird or whatever. So giving athletes space to be themselves with the underlying presence of you need to work hard while you're here and we need to make progress. We need to continue to push the performance envelope and get better over time. And I'll get into something we do with that later and how we know that's happening for sure. And I think it's part of the process. But that's one way, is allowing the athlete to express themselves, be themselves, and be an individual within a group as well as a supportive culture. So we definitely lead with, some people say it's because we're young coaches, whatever. We definitely lead with love in terms of it's at first and foremost an enjoyable experience when they come in. It's something they enjoy. They find pleasure in working hard because of the way it's delivered and the way we talk about it, rather than feeling like they're forced to do it. So one thing that we really focus on has been a discussion with the coaches is we want athletes to have a positive, healthy relationship with their training. The last thing I want is someone to feel like they were forced to do it, because what you'll see is athletes get finished with their sport career, they're whether that ends in high school, whether it ends in college, whether that ends as professionals. You'll see athletes all the time that are burnt out and just associate a negative feeling towards training that it was required for sport, and they did not have a good experience with it. So when they get done with sport and aren't forced to do it anymore, they completely back off of it. And then you'll see quality of life go down, old beat up bodies that played sports and didn't do what they needed to recover and stay healthy over time. And so, and identity loss. So the athletes will get done with sports and they don't know what to do, and they kind of just fall into this cyclical pattern of bad behavior and potentially gain a bunch of weight or are unhealthy and are lost and don't have a lot of motivation to do a lot of things. So one thing is the way we train them in here is to prepare them to have a smooth transition and fall in love with training so they can do it for the rest of their life. That alone, I think, is worth all of the value of having an athlete come in, even if they play sports or not. So giving them the ability to train themselves and do that in a progressive, healthy manner for the rest of their lives. So again, the confidence comes from them coming in, spending the time, enjoying the process. And within that, this gives them space to fail, to try hard things, to have some failures, and not feel like it's a space where they're going to be attacked or ridiculed for that. In today's generation, I feel like the kids are even more not very they're apprehensive to be put on the spot. or apprehensive to fail in front of their peers or in front of others. They're not very avid or in love with looking not good in front of people. And I think part of this would be social media. I think part of this would be just how the internet has connected us. They feel like their lives are on highlight all the time. They're watching people fail on the internet and making fun of them and seeing those posts get a ton of likes and comments on them and whatnot. So athletes are apprehensive to look dumb. I would say even more so than before. And in our space, we revoke that or take away that feeling and are very positive when they fail and when they are successful. So we give them the correct feedback that's needed when they fail, and then positively encourage them to do it again and try again, and then show them that they can do it. So I think that's a big part of the confidence improvement is you'll see athletes less apprehensive to fail in sport, which is necessary to be a great athlete. You can't play afraid. You can't play terrified to make a mistake. And I think that's something that a lot of coaches miss, strength coaches and particularly sport coaches. Their athletes are absolutely terrified to fail, which you'll never get the best performance out of an athlete if they are playing not to lose or playing not to fail. So encouraging that mindset, embodying it with our athletes is something that's also at the forefront of our minds, and a reason that you'll see that confidence improvement. And what goes hand in hand with that is the way that we track. So we have spent a lot of time and resources on getting the necessary equipment to track a lot of different things. We track speeds, we track verticals, we track different types of plyometric tests, reactivity strength index, and most recently we have enough units now that we actually track velocity on bar speed for most of our main strength movements over time. What this does is allows the athlete to see progress in the gym. So when they're in here doing hard things, doing things that make them uncomfortable, they're able to see very distinctly and very honestly whether they're making progress or not. And when they are making that progress, they're doing the things they need to do on the side, going to bed on time, eating food, they see those results shoot up even more. And it just reinforces that behavior. So if you don't have the mechanisms in place to track progress, oftentimes that can get lost in the mix, and then athletes will lose some motivation. They are very driven by results, by doing well and improving. So by investing the time and money to get the equipment and use it in our training, we have definitely seen an uptick in athletes' excitement to make progress on different movements and carry over from that to their sport. So they're able to, know that they've done hard work in here. They are making progress, and there's no reason that they shouldn't be more capable on the court or on the field or in their sport. And then subsequently, you see an improvement performance on the field or in their sport, because they already have that self-belief that they're better. So having the ability to track is huge. And then I want to just swing back and highlight again, creating an environment on a team or in a gym setting where, failure is not a bad thing. It's something to almost be celebrated in a way as well, because if you're never failing, you're not pushing yourself. And when I say failing, it's not like 1 rep max failing. We actually don't ever 1 rep max, but that's a whole nother podcast. But failing to hit prerequisite speed on the bar, failing to do the skill like in a coordinated fashion, or achieve the ability to jump over all of the different heights of plyometrics hurdles we have out. So there's just a bunch of different ways that in a very controlled way they're being asked to do things that make them uncomfortable and potentially fail. And then the coach's response is, what did you notice, and how, and this is what I would suggest, and this is how we're going to get better. And how do you feel about it? So we let them kind of walk through it in their own heads and make that progress themselves, and give them that space to think through things and then attack it again in a setting that's not them getting reprimanded or made fun of in front of their peers by a superior or a coach. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make, in my opinion, is really belittling kids or making them look dumb in front of their peers. That's going to immediately cause that kid or most kids to shell up and, again, go back to that mindset of playing afraid, playing scared. And you will not get the best performance And in the long run, you actually might make a negative impact on the athlete with your time with them, which is one of my greatest fears. So the time that you spend with athletes should overall improve their life, overall improve their performance, not just in sport, but in general in life, as a partner, in the future as a partner, as a spouse, in business, in their jobs. So really big picture mindset we have at Hansen Athletics, and I think that's why we have such a success with the athletes and they enjoy being here. But those are kind of my initial thoughts on that. If you guys have any questions on that or thoughts, go ahead and share them. Hit us up on social media, obviously. Connect with us, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen and share with any coaches or athletes or others that that have influence over other people or programs, and get their opinions on what they're doing to make sure that either as a team leader or as a coach, they are having a positive influence on the others around them and helping them progress at the same time. Coach D, tuning out. Thanks, guys. We made it. Thanks for listening to the episode. If you have any further questions, please reach out via any social media channels or our website, and make sure to check out our on-site and online training options. We appreciate you taking the time to listen to the episode. If you have any further topics you'd like to discuss, let us know and we'll make sure to cover them. Thank you.